Today I messed up by getting a boner while my female friend was having a mental breakdown. This story is even too embarrassing for me to share. I don't know. I'm a 17-year-out male and have been friends with this girl for about 5 years. We always tell each other everything, and lately she's been feeling really down. So I decided to make her a picnic in the vineyards. It was a really nice area. It was a surprise for her, she didn't know about it and got really excited once we were there. After eating, we started talking about her problems, and she started sobbing. She has pretty bad mental health problems. I was just standing there and didn't know what to do. So I gave her a hug. She hugged me back so hard as if she wanted to snatch my soul. She didn't let go. We were hugging for like 5 minutes and I felt something moving down there. It wasn't necessarily because I was horny. It just casually happens. If I'm honest, it has happened a lot when she's, for example, over at my place. And she sees it every time but doesn't say anything. This makes it more awkward. I was wearing joggers, so yeah, I think she felt it because I was poking her. She stopped crying, giggled, at least I could make her laugh, and said, "Well, that's nothing new." Afterwards we went home and it was awkwardly silent between us. Too long. Didn't read. My friend was feeling down, so I made her a picnic. We ate and talked about her problems. She started crying and we hugged each other for 5 minutes. I got a boner, she noticed. She just brushed it off. Today I messed up when returning an Amazon package to Home Depot. This is a very recent today I messed up, so I'm typing it out right now to make sure the relevant details get captured. I was returning a monitor to Amazon today, which I'd usually do by way of printing out their return label, taping it to the side of my package, and dropping it off at my closest UPS or FedEx location. This time they gave me the option of taking it to my local Kohl's, closer than my post office, and the package I'm returning is relatively heavy, so I decided to give it a try. After packaging things up as per Amazon's instructions and loading the box into my car, I headed to Kohl's. Right away, I was greeted by a guy who clearly had somewhere to be, making trips in and out of the store, carrying boxes from Kohl's to his UPS truck. This seemed to be the location. I stepped inside and was immediately greeted by a large sign displayed front and center: "Amazon returns go to the Home Depot." Okay, that sucks, but I'm not going to cause a scene here when it's clearly written front and center that you need to turn around, and they have plenty of shipping work going on right now. The good news was that Home Depot was right down the road, so no skin off my back. I lugged the monitor back to my car and into the trunk. I took a trip down the street to Home Depot to inform them of my intentions, monitor in tow. The first woman I spoke to had trouble believing that Home Depot would accept Amazon returns. As politely as I could, I expressed my own incredulity but held firm that the sign had told me to take this monitor to Home Depot. The manager was called out. I explained the same situation to her and was told firmly that there was no way that Home Depot was involved in this, either the purchase or return. I believed everything she said but was incredibly curious as to why Kohl's down the road had instructed me to take my return to Home Depot. At this point, both I and the manager at Home Depot had the same idea: to call our Kohl's to get to the bottom of things. I let her handle it since we had both dialed at the same time. She connected to Kohl's pretty quickly and had a short exchange, explaining what I told her about the package and asking why there would be a sign in front of Kohl's telling people to take Amazon returns to Home Depot. After a surprisingly brief interaction between them, she hung up. Home Depot's manager explained it to me like this: Kohl's does have a sign out front explaining where to go. The sign reads, "Amazon returns go to the home department." Too long. Didn't read. Tried returning an Amazon package to Home Depot that should have gone to Kohl's while misreading the sign "Amazon returns go to home department" as "Amazon returns go to Home Depot." Today I messed up by drinking hundreds of ants all summer long. Not today but last year. So I was the only one in the office who drank cream with their coffee, so they got me a huge cream container with the squirter on top of the lid back in like April. The first couple weeks everything was fine, nothing out of the ordinary. Then for a couple weeks I was quarantined due to contact tracing, and by the time I got back there were only 3 of us left in the office, essential personnel. That's when I noticed the squirter started acting funky, with less and less cream coming out each day. I never bothered checking, so I just continued struggling with the squirter all summer, assuming some dried cream was the cause of the blockage. Months later it seemed to have finally ran out, so I opened the lid to see if there was any left to pour in my coffee. Nope, just hundreds of dead and alive ants squirming around. Dozens of them were stuck in the tube leading into the squirter, thus causing the blockage. Apparently the office cleaner wasn't essential personnel and left some crumbs out near the creamer, leaving ants to get in, and me to consume them for over 4 months. Too long. Didn't read. Last year, unbeknownst to me, hundreds of ants crawled into the creamer bottle at work and I drank them for over 4 months before realizing. Today I messed up by doing the dishes. This happened yesterday. Yesterday was Mother's Day. I was getting ready to cook dinner of lasagna for my wife, one of her favorite things that I cook, and there were still some dirty dishes from breakfast that I hadn't been able to get to yet. Being the dutiful husband I am, or at least I try to be, I cleaned the dishes. I come back to where my wife is taking a break from cleaning our boys' room and tell her I did the dishes. She sighs unhappily. I was going to do the dishes. I had planned pre-washing the dinner dishes using the breakfast dishes. Remember when we talked yesterday about doing dishes is relaxing for me? Oh. I was trying to be helpful. Sigh. Too long. Didn't read. I messed up by doing a job my wife was hoping to do in order to relax.